Welcome to In the Search. I'm your host, Scott Sanders, and this is your one-stop shop for all your speedy reviews and your detailed how-tos. Today, we're going to be taking the toilet off and replacing it. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you put a new one back or an old one. We're doing the drywall patch, so we have to pull that off, so that's a different video. But first things first, your supplies. You need a wrench or some pliers. You're going to need a bucket of water because first you're going to shut the water off. This is a quarter turn. If you have a shut-off that's not a quarter turn, they're old school, where they just spin a little bit. Sometimes when you shut off, if it's been a while from calcium deposits, there's a little nut right back here on the backside that it can leak. And if it leaks, all you have to do is tighten it. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. If you tighten it, it'll stop leaking from here. So first of all, flush the toilet after you shut the water off. You want to just hold it down and let it run as much as possible to get as much out of the tank as you can. Because when you go to pull... You're going to pull the supply line off. You're going to leave it attached to here, but you need to catch all the water. So now that it's off, I'm going to loosen it up. This is an efficiency flush toilet, so it's going to have a bit of water pour out of here. Pause. All right, so now that you got the back empty, you see the supply lines off. Then there's a little bit left in the tank. Now you can see on the side that it has this P-trap, has a hump. The hump is there because once water gets over the top, it actually flows down and flushes it all out. But until there's too much water in it and it doesn't get over that hump, it doesn't flush out. So get you a bucket. You don't need a ton of water in it. Once you see it start going down and sucking in, stop pouring water. Now there's a minimum amount of water in there, so when I go to carry it around, it's not all going to splash everywhere. And we're probably going to put it in another room. All right, secondary, we need to take off the mounting brackets. Now these screws, once you get them loose, you can spin them off with your fingers. And you want to keep a second pan over here that has all the pieces you're pulling off so you know exactly where they are. Alright, so once you get them all off, there's this washer and some nuts. Leave them off to the side. Now normally these are supposed to have white caps over the top to hide those to make it look cleaner, but they're not on there. Then get you a box cutter. Now you want a real sharp blade, so make sure you replace it real quick. You just need to scar the cock that is underneath it. And we'll show you how to put it back here in a minute. That way you can pull this off the floor. Alright, so now it's detached from the wall and the plumbing. The brackets are off. Now you can take it off. You kind of want to roll it back from the back to the front. Alright, so get you a painter's tool. You just want to scrape off all the old cocks so the new one can sit down tight. And now everybody in the video is like, yeah. So, the mounting bracket screws, you want to tap them, make sure they're not loose. If they are, you just have to tighten them with a screw on the bottom and make sure this isn't compromised or it's messed up, cracks, holes, anything like that. But this is what connects to the wax ring on the toilet. So once you get that back over here, you just have to line up those holes with these, and these should be dead center right down the middle. All right, so now if we're gonna put it back on, there's a wax ring that goes on most of these. So if you pull some off that's like 50, 60 years old, over 30 years old, they normally use a wax ring. Now they have also one that has a wax ring that's reinforced, is what they call it, and it has a plastic horn, is what they call it, but really it's just a plastic funnel on in the inside of the wax ring. Or you can get a gasket, which is a toilet gasket, and it's rubber that has like a foam rubber at the top so that it actually presses against the bottom of this onto the floor. So you can see this is where it all comes out. In the words of Ernest P. Worrell, yucky. Yeah, so you put the wax ring and it comes in a plastic, you peel the plastic off like you're opening up a wrapper, but you keep the plastic on the bottom. And then you stick it up on there and you want to push pretty hard and twist it a little bit until it grabs. Then pull the rest of the plastic off and it's ready to go on to the mounting bracket inside. Okay, so when you're picking them up, the best spot is right back here. Unless you have two people, one can grab the tank, one can grab the front. But you grab the sides and you pick it up. Remember, if the tank stays higher than the front, it won't spill. Now, instead of watching me walk my little duck ass all the way down this hallway, let's do some TikTok magic and just teleport straight there. You ready? Oh, whoa! Nobody told me teleporting with a toilet be so heavy. My damn back. My damn back. All right, so you can see this one has the rubber flange or the gasket. All you gotta do is get those 2 bolts that go through the hole. You get one of them, you pretty much got both of them. And you'll feel it when it goes down. There it is. Now if it's a wax ring, you want to sit on the toilet a little bit. you kind of push it down and squish it. Once you get it on, if it's a wax ring, you set on and press it down. Remember that you have your little nuts and your washers in here. You take them off, you twist them back down to the mounting bracket. That way it really pushes it down and seals it up good. So tighten it all with your hands. And you want to go pretty tight when it's going down. You'll feel the resistance of it. But you want to go pretty down tight because that's what keeps it to the floor. Then, you just need to reconnect your supply line. Now, if you connect this and it starts leaking a little bit, they have plumber's tape, which is Teflon tape, and you can put it on there. And you can see someone used to have it, so if you normally see something they used to have, they did it for a reason. But you're going to put this back on. Tighten it with your hand. Now there's just little rubber rings in the supply line that are gaskets. So when you're tightening it on, you don't want to tighten it so much that you're like straining to push it because you can break that little rubber gasket. So once it's on, your hand tightened it. You want to give it a few turns until you feel it grab pretty much and just go a little extra. But you're not trying to strain yourself because you could ruin the supply line. Alright, so it's on. Cut the water back on. Now it's flowing. Now it could drip from here or there, but we never touched that, so it shouldn't. But when you touch it, you should be able to feel water immediately because obviously water will drip from anything immediately. It's not going to stick around and wait. So once this is full, you want to flush it once or twice to see if water flows underneath it. If it does, you didn't get a tight enough seal, you need a better wax ring. Sometimes they're not tall enough, so you might need an extra thick wax ring. Say this used to be like a vinyl floor, and then you put tile raise the toilet off the floor, so you'll need that extra thick wax ring so that it can actually reach the bottom of the toilet. They say you don't need them when it's these rubber ones, but that's enough. Let's test her out. No water's on the side, it should flow straight down. And now you need to caulk it to the floor. I like to use that. Yeah, it's 20-minute fast dry. You'll caulk this whole thing, that kind of stops it from teeter-totting and wobbling and also seals it so nothing can get in and out. Wax ring and the flanges are about $3 to $6 depending on which one you pick. So get you some caulk, some latex caulk, and then get you a wet sponge. Having a wet sponge, when you wet your finger, you can smear it way better. If you don't smear the caulk line, it doesn't really push in there and grab really good. So you don't want to just caulk it and leave it. If you just use a dry finger, when you go across it, you'll leave what we call knuckles. They'll just look like little bumps all over the place. So you get the back side. You want to just put an excessive amount. Just want to squirt out, but that's what the sponge is for. Get the back side. All right, you get to stop it by twisting it and pulling back. Get your wet sponge, wet finger, smear it all up in there. Wipe the excessive amount off. And now it's in there. The best thing to do is just take your sponge, run it back and forth on tile. It cleans it up in straight lines really good. Now obviously you get extra marks, so you just go back and forth. We'll get a clean straight line. Fold it up. Fold it back the other way.
Not a lot of people know about that sponge trick. Man.
Yeah, a lot of customers are like, oh, what are you using a wet sponge? I was just using my hand for years, and that's a great idea. Yeah, it makes a world of a difference. All right. So thank you very much for stopping by In the Search, your one-stop shop for all your speedy reviews and detailed how-tos. We're the Texas boys, you know, home of the blue bonnet, I don't know what to do with my hands, and also home of the seagull. And remember, your success is determined by the compliments your clients spread about you. And remember, your success is guaranteed by the compliments your clients spread about you. That's not it. Now remember, you have to stop. What was the real word? The success is guaranteed. The blooper reel. The blooper. Remember. And remember, your success is. I want to say guaranteed so bad. So bad.